What is up, everybody? Welcome back to episode 4 of the RSV4 RF build series. In last episode, you've seen we did the billet chain adjusters, and we also did the carbon fiber vinyl on the swing arms. If you haven't watched any of the episodes, I definitely recommend you go back. This build series, we're taking a 2017 RSV4 RF, and we're basically building the most spec'd out, race-inspired, still street legal track bike. So this bike, even if it doesn't get used on the street much, this bike is still going to have lights on it, headlights, tail lights, and this bike's just going to get spec'd out with some of the best race trick parts that you can put on any bike. So if you haven't seen any episode in this series, definitely go back, start from square one. We'll wait for you, go ahead. But in this episode, we're doing some titanium nuts. Stay tuned. Alright guys, so as you've seen in the last video, I showed you guys a little sneak peek of a lot of these parts that we got from Racetorx. And we've got a rear titanium axle nut, a front titanium axle nut, and then we also have a titanium swing arm pivot nut that we're doing. What's great about Racetorx parts is they're meant for racing. They are all drilled for safety wire. They come with safety wire and anti-seize. And they're super light. I mean, a lot of people are like, why would you spend 50 bucks on a titanium axle nut? The thing is, every gram counts, especially a bike build like what we're doing, where Dorothy is considered a heavy bike. You know, the RSV4 is considered a heavy bike. Every little bit counts. So today, we're going to be pulling off the axle sliders in the front and doing the front axle nuts. We never installed the rear axle from the last episode because we knew we were doing the axle nuts. So we're going to also be doing that today. Alright, so we're going to start on the rear axle nut.
Looking good.
So we always recommend when you do stuff like the axle nut, or excuse me, when you do stuff like you pull the rear axle, we always recommend you clean the axle and re-grease it. How many times do you guys really pull this off unless you're at the track racing all the time, changing tires? So while we got it off the bike, we're going to clean it real good, put some grease on it before we throw it back in the bike. Alright, so now that we got our shaft all lubed up, now we can get our nuts off. Or should I say we can get our nuts on. I got the axle in. We got our rear axle nut. Look at this thing. Gorgeous. Take this out so you guys can see what it looks like. Gorgeous piece of kit. Wow, beautiful. Like I say, all the weight savings we can get definitely makes a difference. Make sure you reuse your washer from the original one. Now, as you guys know, don't over torque your axle nut. Especially because we're going to be safety wiring. So you only need about 100 pounds, if that, on this rear axle nut. My chain slack's still good. Seems like she's moving all right. And that's pretty tight there. The titanium axle nut is done. So now we're moving on to the swing arm pivot bolt. So we're not adjusting the geometry or anything like that. We're literally just swapping this nut out for the lightweight titanium race nut from Racetorx. And I don't know if I mentioned it, but with these titanium race nuts, you do reuse your stock washers. Like on the rear nut, you know, it has a washer. And also you'll see on the swing arm pivot nut, you have a washer still on there. So you're gonna keep your washer, you're gonna reuse that. And Racetorx makes these axle nuts for all bikes. So it's not just an Aprilia thing. You know, they do Aprilia, they do Honda, Kawasaki, any bike to where you want to save some weight. Like I say, there's links in the description, but definitely hit up Dale and he'll get you situated with anything. They do shift supports, you know, they do a bunch of titanium bits, a lot of the billet bits, you know, like the chain adjusters. I mean, it's just, it's a one-stop shop for all of the titanium race parts that you don't see a lot of for sale, but you'll see them on race bikes. So also, on all these, you just want to put a little bit of anti-seize. They supply it for you, you don't have to get nothing. So just a little bit goes a long way. There, so it rings. Axle nut, a little bit of anti-seize. Oh, that titanium looks so good. If we had more time before the race weekend, I'd love to take a propane torch and just heat these up a little bit and get some beautiful bluing to match the exhaust. Dale's probably gonna shoot me for saying that. Perfect. And just like that, that's it. Perfect. Now onto the front. We got the axle sliders off of there. Ooh, bubble wrap, gunshots. So we got the axle sliders off the bike. Now, I'm gonna come around to the axle nut. Now, a lot of people that run the titanium nuts, they'll also run like titanium pinch bolts that are pre-drilled, and they'll run the safety wire. The only reason we're actually not gonna safety wire the front axle nut is because we're running the T-Rex front axle slider. So that's off there. And put a little bit of anti-seize on the titanium axle nut. This just in, breaking news. Hold on. Shoot Jeff real quick. You gotta see this. So we just say the word titanium pinch bolts, and look what this guy does. He comes through in the clutch. I'm telling you, man. This guy's amazing. You wonder why we shoot all these videos at these Honda lover shop? I'm telling you, that's why we do it right here. For titanium people, for titanium. Jeff, you're the man, dude. Wait, can I have these, or are you just showing them off?
I only got 2 of them, I don't have 4. I can see if I can find another one, or another set.
No worries, brother. And just like that, she's on there. Go ahead and put our axle slider back through. And the axle sliders are on. Just like that, she's all set. I know this one wasn't a super long video, guys, but we had to kind of carry on from episode 3 and do the titanium axle nuts, you know, immediately after we did the chain adjusters and stuff, just so we could get it buttoned up. But thank you guys so much for watching. Always, it's a pleasure shooting these videos for you guys. If you're enjoying the build series, please subscribe. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and we'll see you next episode. By the way, next episode, we don't have no levers. And if you guys don't remember me bitching, this master cylinder, stock one, is garbage. When you start riding aggressively, it gets super squishy and just not a good feeling when you're trying to have confidence and push this thing 10 tenths around the track. So next episode, definitely stay tuned because we are fixing that.